I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start it. Dear Lord, thank you for letting us all be here and gathering, do your work. Lord, please give us wisdom as we're making decisions, and just please have your hand over George County school system as we go over next year. You're right there. Amen. All right, call to order meeting number 2. First on the agenda is to approve the agenda. Does anybody have anything that we need to point out or make changes to?
We need to remove consent agenda 5.27.
5.27, 5.27.
Right, it's one of the issues for them all.
Okay. Do I hear a motion that we strike 5.27 from the consent agenda, because this person was pulled out and said they didn't?
Well, that one is full, so they had a choice to go to a different school and they want to pull out at this time.
Okay. Do I hear a motion we strike 5.27? Hear a motion, have a second, and a second, all right. All in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed? All right, 5.27 is struck from the consent agenda. Is there anything else that we need to move around, clarity on? If not, do I have a motion that we approve the agenda? Hear a motion, no second? Motion and a second, all in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed? All right. Do we have any public comments? I don't think so. We'll keep on moving along. And is this the first
This is my
notice hearing?
first.
Superintendent report?
Yes. We were 8 days in and it's going fabulous.
Fantastic. Take it away.
Thank you. We've had a great month of registration in July, in June, and now in July, we've opened back up our online registration to try to catch some of those that didn't get it. Our school staffs have been great about contacting parents who haven't yet registered to let them know the opportunities that they may have to come on and do that before school starts. So that's going really well. We're planning for our first days back to school at the end of this week. We'll have the teachers and staff for 4 days before the students come back on Friday. And so we have lots of activities planned for them to have some professional development. One of our areas that we're really excited about is our dyslexic training. Ms. Christy Taylor has put together a fabulous dyslexic training event for us at the high school. That'll be on the 29th from 7:30 to 12:30. Great speakers, great breakout sections, really a lot of good training and information for our people. So we're really excited about that, and so we're on track to get back to school at the end of the month.
Outstanding. All right, before we move on to our consent, I'm sorry, we finished? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Before we move on to our consent agenda item, number 5, I want to take a second and have an award we want to get out. And it's an award of appreciation to somebody that's put a lot of effort and really helped out the county. I don't think anybody really realizes just how much this person stepped up and helped us out the hole we were in on this. And I really appreciate it. It's Mr. Jeff Mathis. Yeah, meet over here. I never even get to stand over here with a small. Y'all, I just want to take a moment from the board just appreciative, doesn't really cover it all. It was a lot going on, and you handled it like a champ, and we could not be happy with the job that you performed for us, the service that you performed in the county. So we appreciate you, bottom of our hearts. Does anybody else have anything they want to say? I cannot say enough for it. Thank you so much.
You did an absolute great job. Really.
Love you, brother. Thank you. You get to speak? Oh, yeah, you gotta get a speech. Look. You got so much good practice and everything. You want to get your picture by the thing? If you want a picture, 100%. Come on. What do you got? I gotta get my phone. Oh, perfect. Y'all get up. Come on, board. Let's all get a picture with Jeff one good time. Okay. Sure. Do you want to give a speech today? That's all right. You're in the middle here, so we can all hug on you here. Oh, you better. Come on. We can squeeze it. A little bit more, come on. Don't give us a count or anything. It looks too good, right? All right, we're done. Oh, you didn't know? I had no clue. What? Shame on brother. I mean that. All right, moving on. Consent agenda items 5.1 through 5.41 minus 5.27. As amended. Do I have a motion that we approve consent agenda items? Not all at once. Motion. Got a motion? Have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed? All right. Mr. Richard Maples, Building and Grounds Report.
Everything seems to be in pretty good order. Trying to stay up on the work orders. You got a few issues around, we're working on that to try to get that rectified in the next few weeks. We'll be ready when school starts. We should have things on work. Culinary building, even though they were delayed about 7 weeks waiting on the building to be delivered, it's there, and they actually put it together now. The walls are iron and all so, and they say they're gonna be pretty close, to still stays on that same completion time that they had before. So
Okay.
we're hoping that out.
We've ran into anything else with,
And any issues that I can think of, anything pretty well, seems like I'm pretty smooth.
okay. Yeah, we running the AC units in the schools right now,
Yes,
so make
sir.
sure.
Yes, sir, we, in our summer help has been cleaning the units in all schools. Well, into that helps us when school starts, we get all the units cleaned, that helps.
Summer helpers been good?
They have been great too, that we have, or I don't know about all the ones everywhere else, but we just have any, but they've really done, stepped up and done.
Fantastic. Appreciate that. Do you have any questions for Mr. Maples?
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. All right, Clint James with Transportation.
I learned something about Mr. Maples since he came in. He called to tell you get a good son worker for you, you better watch him. I just learned that about him. No, he used to give me a good son. We completed all our refresher training for our bus drivers, over the last few weeks. And, our back to school training will be the 29th, which is the same day Caleb will be doing our trade training for our bus drivers. It'll be at the bus hall. So if anybody wants to come, that'll be a busy week for everybody. That's all I've got for that. Just I've got like, whoever on board is going.
Anybody have any questions? Outstanding, all right, thank you. Chief Davis.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Everything on my side of the world is fantastic. A lot of you saw, we did some training with some other agencies and all. That was the first of what we hope to be many training opportunities that we do here in the county. We're gonna continue to do that. That was training that we all required to do as SROs every 3 years. We're gonna try to actually host a class minimum every year. So we may even try to do some throughout the year, because they're free. They didn't cost the district anything to hold that class, and it's good training for us. So, got some more stuff coming up in the near future. Other than that, any questions from me?
What was the one thing you learned out of the training that you didn't know?
The way that it changed, see, alert training is the same across the nation. Every law enforcement officer is trained the exact same way, so that it don't matter if it's me, Louisville PD, or California Highway Patrol. If we go to enter a building in an active shooter situation, we're trained to enter the exact same way. The only thing one thing that they've changed since last time I've been through it is how we enter the room. Whenever I first went through it, the first guy through the door goes all the way to the window. Never goes straight ahead. The reason that is if the shooter's in the corner, you're basically his target. You're distracting him, so the number 2 guy can go in and hopefully take him out before he takes you out. They've changed that. Now we don't go all the way into the room. We only take in about 5 feet. So that was probably one of the biggest takeaways. And you move faster, it's way more professional being behind it. So, and it saves you about another 5-10 steps every time too.
Yeah.
So, anything else? Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
Thanks, brother. All right. Approve, number 9 is approve the 2025-2026 organizational chart. Does anybody have any questions? What should be the first thing inside the folder? If anybody has any questions, do I hear a motion that we approve the organization chart?
Motion.
Have a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second, all in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed? All right. Number 10 is open bids and award hunting and fishing license for section 16 T2S R7W in Central. This is the one right here, sealed up. I'm gonna open it up right now. Let's see. Everything's on it. We read out who we're presenting it to, right? It's a memo for Scott K. Howell for the payment of $3,840 for a term of 5 years.
That's the minimum.
That's the minimum. We had no other bids. So, anybody have any questions about the bid? If not, do I hear that we award the license?
Motion.
Motion. Second. All in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed? All right. I'm gonna hear this down to thank you very much. All right. Number 11 is approved revisions to policy IDE, gift education program.
This is a revision that Ken Davis gave to me. There were a couple grammatical errors in the policy that we had to change, so we'll fix them in the case. And then the emphasis timeline in the past is in December 1st to mark students gifted, and that is no longer part of Mississippi funding. Formula, so we're taking that out. She picked it.
Okay. Because it's not required for the formula. That makes sense. Does anybody have any questions about the policy provision? If not, do I hear a motion we approve?
Motion.
Have a motion here, second? Motion and a second, all in favor say yes. Yes. Opposed? All right, thank you. All right, number 12. Hey, bro.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing very well.
Okay, I got several things on here in a row, so I'm gonna probably speak longer than I ever have in a board meeting before, so. I'm asking the board to approve number 12, it's a memorandum of understanding between George County School and Youth Villages Incorporated to provide services for MyPack Intercept LifeStep wraparound program for students in the district at no charge. Basically, some mental health services and counseling they come in and provide.
Does anybody have any questions about number 12?
So why is it no charge to the district? What's the catch there?
That there's not, they just provide those services, children who are referred to them for free.
Probably granted.
That is, that's the state getting it.
Mhm.
This is-
We have several in there like this, that they're not charged. It's not charged.
Paid for by either state or grants or some other form, just for the services?
Right.
Gotcha. All right. Do I hear a motion that we approve this MOU?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed? All right.
Okay. Number 13 is to approve a MOU between Georgia County School District, Health Connect America to provide behavioral therapy, educational services for students no charge to the district. Again, that is something that they do for students who their parents refer to them so they can come on our campus, provide some of those services there at the school.
And just remind, is this the same people we use every year as far as these kind of services? I just,
Yes. What I've done is instead of them being on several different board agendas, I try to get almost all of them on one.
okay,
This year.
gotcha.
So the Health Connect, that's Conrad initiated, correct?
There's no more questions. Do I hear a motion we approve number 13?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed? All right.
Okay, number 14 is to approve a contract between Georgia County School District and Willsway LLC to provide behavioral therapy and consultation services for the 2025-26 school year at the rate of $125 per hour plus travel, funded by IDEA Part B 2610. You know, we use them when we have need help with evaluations and where we need a school psychologist, that our psychometrists can't complete that evaluation without their help.
Okay. Do we have any questions on number 14 for Will's Way? If not, do I hear a motion we approve number 14? Have a motion here, second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed? All right.
All right, number 15, to approve an agreement between Georgia County School District and Care Center, Canopy Solutions to provide education-related services to student individualized education program for each student enrolled in the facility during the period of August 1st, 2025 through May 31st of 2026. The tuition daily rate is $179 per diem, or this Mississippi State Department of Education set daily rate for each student. We have a student that attends the day treatment facility there, and that's the agreement we have for him to get his treatment there.
Okay. Is this maintenance funded or is this a grant?
In part, there's a reimbursement program through MDE that we pay a certain amount up front, and then they pay a set reimbursement fee to the district.
Okay.
Basically quarterly time frames.
10-4. All right, do I hear a motion we approve, number 15?
Motion.
Have a motion here, second? Motion and a second, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? All right,
Okay, number 16, to approve a memorandum of understanding between George County School District and Singing River Services to provide mental health services and programs to students in the district between August 1st, 25 and August 1st, 26 at no cost to the district.
Which schools are they going to be looking at?
They've been coming pretty much to individual schools to service kids when they need them. They're not being based out of a particular school.
They don't, do they have what they used to have, like a certain building or facility or have a designated place?
No, they've been coming into the schools.
all right, do I hear a motion we approve number 16?
Motion.
Have a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed? All right,
All right, number 17 is to approve a collaborative agreement between George County School District and the University of Southern Mississippi on behalf of the Children's Center for Communication and Development for Educational and Therapeutic Services for the 2025-26 school year and the amount of $1,557.53 per student, funded by IDA Part B 2016.
any questions on, this one? If not, do I hear a motion that we approve? Have a motion here, second?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed? All right,
Okay, number 18 is to approve a contract between George County School District and Dakota. I'm going to really get her last name wrong here. Order for visual and mobility services for the visually impaired for 2025-26, 2026-27, and 2027-28 school years at the rate of $110 per hour, funded by IDA Part B 2610. That was one of the things that the last board meeting that I got permission to put an RFP out for, and she was the lowest bidder.
okay.
That's our.
All right, if you don't have any questions,
What students do you have that are serviced?
By her.
all right, do I hear a motion that we approve number 18?
Motion.
Have a motion here, second? Motion and a second, all in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed? All right,
Okay, number 19, to approve a contract between George County School District and Encore Rehabilitation Incorporated to provide physical and occupational services at the rate of $70 per hour for therapists and $60 an hour for therapist assistants from August 1st, 25 to August 31st, 28. Funded by IDA Part B and preschool, it's 2610 and 2620. And that was also an RFP we put out last month, and it was the lowest bidder by like a fairly substantial amount, so.
okay. That's why the very reduced rate was for the 3-year contract?
No, they were similar last year, but what I was doing is I was trying to lock them in for 3 years. That's like the most, the longest number of years we can get a contract for, and so I was trying to take care of a lot of this and just lock that in.
Gotcha. And the rate didn't change from last year?
I would have to check to be sure. If it did, it was only a couple dollars per hour.
Okay.
It wasn't very much.
Okay. 10-4. Do I hear a motion we approve number 19?
Motion.
A motion here, second? Motion and second. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed?
Okay, number 20, to approve a service agreement between George County School District and LEP Interpreting Incorporated to provide American Sign Language interpreting services from July 1st, 25 to July 31st, 26, at the rate of $55 per hour, funded by IDA Part B 2610. This is a contract that I'm asking to get approved because I had a meeting with our hearing impaired students, and one of the concerns the parents had is if they had an interpreter that was sick or out, their kid didn't have an interpreter for days. So this is a measure to put something in place where we can get a substitute interpreter in if we need to.
Gotcha. Let's do that. If there's no questions, do I hear a motion to approve number 20? Have a motion here, second? Motion and second, all in favor, say yes? Yes. Any opposed? All right.
All right, 21, to approve a memorandum of understanding between George County School District and the Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services, Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, and Vocational Rehabilitation, for the line to provide school and citizen services effective July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, in no charge to the district.
Does anybody have any questions about number 21? If not, do I hear a motion, we approve? Have a motion and a second, all in favor say yes? Yes. Any opposed? All right. Okay, what do you mean, keep on going, man?
Hang on it. Number 22 is to approve the contract between LT Taylor and IXL for their digital license for online learning. It's just a digital remediation tool, but it also can be an enrichment tool for all students to help them deal with it.
Okay. Is this part, I'm ignorant about all this stuff, you know I am. Is this work hand in hand with our, what's the system we use right now for the testing? iReady, does this work?
It's a different company, so what they do is they see on iReady the standard that needs to be targeted, and then IXL can go right to that and help them work and remediate to help work that.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. Does anybody have any questions? 22?
So, just out of curiosity, why is this just one of the elementary schools?
Oh, that's a good question. So, the elementary schools are title schools, and they're able to write into their plan supplemental curriculum that they would like to purchase. So the district doesn't buy this for every school. This is going to the schools to write in the title plan if they choose to. So LT Taylor wanted to buy IXL.
Are there other companies that do the remedial services for others, or is some just use iReady for remedial? Just so I understand.
It's up to the principal.
Okay.
IReady, you do buy for the entire district K through 8, so that is an option. Some principals like better companies better than others, so they may use the title money to purchase that.
Okay. Anybody have any more questions? If not, do I hear a motion that we approve number 22? Motion and a second. All in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed?
All right, number 23, we brought this contract to you at the last board meeting, and it was approved, and then the Department of Education did away with the U.S. History State test. So before we purchased this, we were able to reach back out to the company and ask them to take all the U.S. History State test questions off there because our students wouldn't be testing anymore, so it lowered the price. So this is a new contract for a lower price without the U.S. History State test.
Oh, nice. How much was the difference? Do you know offhand?
It was like, well, I think it was close to $3,000 for U.S. history. And then we restructured the way the former EQTs would look, so we weren't testing kindergarten and first grade as often. So that came off the price too. So I think it started at 84 and we got it down to 76.
Okay, great. Every little bit. Does anybody have any questions about 23? If not, do I hear a motion we approve?
Motion.
And a second? Yep. All in favor say yes? Yes. Any opposed?
All right, 24, at the last board meeting, we also got a contract for iStation approved. And it was our pre-K and kindergarten benchmark testing that all of those students were required to take in the Department of Education. Well, the department changed, last month, and they said they're no longer using iStation. So we had not turned in the purchase order, we were waiting to fiscal year roll over. So, the Department of Education said they were changing that to Renaissance Star Literacy, which is what we used for several years prior to iStation. So, so we're not gonna buy iStation for kindergarten, we're gonna use Renaissance Star, which is what we tested on the Department of Education. And the cost is much better, iStation is $8,000, this is $2,815.
Okay, good. Do I hear a motion we approve number 24? Motion and a second. All in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. All right, I have several, my name is Roger King. I have several. So, number 25, several of us will be child nutrition contracts for the year. 25 is a big contract from George County School District and Portion Pack Chemical Company to provide sanitation for the chemicals for the 25-26 school year. We did put it out for quotes with very few people that offers that service. One of them being Portion Pack and the other being Auto Floor. Auto Floor did not respond. So Portion Pack was our only option. It actually only went up $392 from last year. So that's the fund all the schools.
All right. Do I hear a motion for approval on 25? We have a motion here, a second. Motion and a second. All in favor say yes. Yes. Opposed? All right.
All right, the child nutrition, 26 is the approved contract in George County Child Nutrition and Southern Pest Control. They have to get their pest control out separate than what the district did when we did, but we still put it out for quotes. We had, we put it out for 3 quotes, actually coming in. Southern Pest Control came in at $4,800. Red Pest Solutions came in at $5,088. Haber Pest Control, we didn't get a response. We currently use Southern Pest Control as well. They went up $576 from the previous year. And this is to do the pest control at all the schools.
Specifically for child nutrition.
Yes, and it's a child
cafeteria.
nutrition budget.
Gotcha. All right. Does anybody have any questions on 26? If not, do I hear a motion here? Motion. Have a motion here, a second. Motion and a second. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed?
All right, 27 is the approved contract from George County School District and Russell Maintenance Service for child nutrition equipment for the 25-26 school year. We have a not to exceed $35,000. Their price did not change from the previous year. And basically what it is we have on retention that if something happens, if the person goes down or something like that, we can call them and they can come in and timely manner to do that service. We put a limit on there not to exceed $35,000 for the entire year. We've not reached that limit, but you never have a free position.
Okay. This is just not to exceed. There's no obligation to
It's
pay
as
them
needed.
until needed.
It's as needed.
As needed, 10-4. Gotcha. All right, do I hear a motion we approve number 27? Motion, your second. Motion and second. All in favor say yes. 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 Any opposed? All right.
All right, 28 is to approve the following meal prices for the 25-26 school year. Breakfast will still be free for the students. Adults is $2.50, that did not change. The lunch, we're requesting go from $2.75 to $3, and that's to meet the state minimum requirement is $3. And adult meals, $1.25 did not change.
All right. Does anybody have any questions on 28? All right, if not, do I hear a motion that we approve number 28? Have a motion here, a second? Motion and a second. All in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed? All right.
Right, number 29 is to improve and increase the rate of pay for the bus driver transporting students on field trip from $7.50 to $16. that needed to be done. So a couple of things there. First of all, we're paying a bus driver there to drive a bus, and we're $7.50 an hour. And then they're doing a field trip at $7.50, less than Department of Labor issues, they're doing the same job at drastically lower rates, so we're supposed to pay them their current rate. So that'll get us in compliance with that. Also, it makes it difficult to find willing bus drivers when they can drive a route for 16 and they drive a field trip for 7. So we've recommended that we increase the rate to $16. That gets refunded back to the district from the field trip money that the staff takes up from the students.
Okay, it pays for the action, okay. I didn't know that. Do I hear a motion that we approve 29?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say yes. Yes. Yes, any opposed? All right,
All right, number 30 is to remove Lonnie Jeff Mathis from the First State Bank Depository and be replaced with Deborah Joyner. So myself and Ms. Joyner will be on the checking accounts at First State Bank.
any questions? Not, do I hear a motion we approve number 30? Motion and a second, all in favor say yes. Yes, any opposed? All right,
All right, 31 is the financial statements. If you notice, you don't have any accounts payable, any dockets, because we have at end of the month, to close out the end of the year in June, so there'll be no dockets for July, we're not processing. That will be on the August board agenda. So your financial statements is for May. So year to date, district maintenance fund, your revenue was $35,686,050. Your expenditures was $29,785,713. So we had a difference of revenue over expenditures by 5.9. All your funds, your revenue was $52,272,453. Your expenditures was $42,656,890. So we had 9.6 revenue over expenditures in all of your funds. You'll notice now when we post June's June's financials next month, we will present them, but they will be preliminary, and then we will go back and present a final once we close out June, because we're still closing out the year. It takes a couple months to close out the year. Your district maintenance, your cash balance in May was $12,443,330. It was a decrease of $93,366, and your all funds cash balance was $20,264,000, and it was a decrease of $536,000. As it relates to the projects, the biggest project, of course, is the CTE culinary building. We're still within budget. We had budgeted $1,768,000. We spent $659,000 in expenses, so we're at 1.1 still for in the budget. As it relates to the other financials, the 729 we have a public hearing for the public. I will get you guys that presentation so you will see that. We have balanced out the budget, balanced out from the 1120. So we were able to balance it out, show like comfortable with an $86,000 increase. And I was still able to put $300,000 in a special project fund. We said once we had balanced out, a lot of that has to do with ad valorem, and ad valorem coming in at a higher rate this year. So we were able to do that together. So we'll have a public hearing on July the 29th at 5:30. On August the 12th, you guys will, I'll present the final ad valorem. Got some numbers there, but I just need them to get a little closer to their due date so I can verify and an increase. We will have an increase in millage, so it will balance the budget out. So keep in mind on Wednesday, y'all get a phone call for the next 3 weeks, we will run in the paper the ad valorem request. Keep in mind that what is in the paper is not necessarily what we're going to ask for. Okay, so you have to run it in the paper more than what you're going to ask for, because if you get more next year, they send us more, and you don't advertise for more, you will owe them back money. You'll have an escrow. So to keep us from having an escrow, we can realize that we will be able to maintain the same millage rate, not go up on them. I do want to cover something else before you approve the financials. So this past few months, the child nutrition department had a procurement audit, which is basically from MDE, where they come in and they check all of the purchasing, everything that was purchased. They specifically checked Chartwell because of it being a, third party. Sometimes MDE don't like that too much. When we met with them the other day, her words was, they saved the best for last. So they met with me and Ms. Crenshaw and said she had audited about 40 this year for procurement audit, and George County School District had no findings. So I handed it to Ms. Crenshaw for, reaching out, for doing what she needed to do for the procurement. They said, keep doing what we're doing. We basically spent a few minutes going over what they found at other schools, just so we don't get lax on them. But even for us to have a food management company, they said they were very impressed with what George County School District has done. So, hands down, I said to Ms. Crenshaw, that made that happen. So we are very pleased with one of it. They said, so if things go like they should, we should not hear from them in the next 3 or 4 years. Procurement. That's all I have. Like I said, I'll be sending out you guys some stuff to look at as it relates before the final budget. You'll actually approve 2 budgets in August. You'll approve an original one, which is what came over. When I rolled 25 to 26, it's considered original. But right after that, we're approve an amended one. And that's because once it rolls, it goes to amended as we update balances and all that. So I'm going to give you an original and I'll give you an amended one. So you guys will approve both of those. When I do a public hearing, I will base it off of the amended one because that's what we got this one.
Again, I really like the way that you presented this. What about, have you, and I'm just not going to check, have you put anything on Facebook yet with the, not Facebook, the district side with the budget?
For,
Where we've been talking about transparency.
posting, now I have not done that yet. Ms. Wade reached out and sent me some of the schools that do it, some of the schools that don't. Actually, there's so many more schools that don't than do. It kind of makes me nervous to get out there. Just for the fact that we couldn't really find schools that put it out there. The budget was public, and of course, the work, they can call and get any information and get, because it's public information. But as far as the sheets goes, I will leave that up to you guys. This way you may can go more in detail once you find out. Oh, sorry.
We'll get you.
That was dirty, by the way.
Sorry. I didn't really know your voice was out. I thought you said that, so you didn't have to. But I can even forward you what she sent me. But I think that's something that we need to think about and look at maybe the concerns of putting it out there and not putting it out
Well, I would just like to do as much transparency as far as this goes. I mean, I know that people can come, but, life is life and we're busy and, that's, I think, something that's very, very important to all of us is making sure that we are taking those steps. So we'll get together and see.
Okay.
And we can use that for discussion,
Do y'all recall by any chance what Pebble School District does?
They put their budget out there, once you guys approve the budget, which we do that too, and then they put their yearly audit out there. But there's no monthly reports. No reports of how they pay out there. They don't.
About how many did actually put their financial statements out there? Just out of the, because we just look around here, we look all through Mississippi.
Oh, I mean, I didn't.
No, I just want to know about how many was
And I
it?
found one in North Mississippi, but it had not been updated in about a year.
Okay,
So, and I couldn't find any around here at all. Like I said, they put the audit, I guess because it's unaudited, and we don't want to be held liable for that too. You know what I'm saying? So we put the final audit reports out there, ours is out there every year. But again, to me personally, I feel like it's a liability on me, because I can put stuff out there, but if we have to go back to a journal entry, and the next month it don't match the month before, then they're gonna go back and go, well, you put 10,000 this month, why did you put 11 this month? What do you have? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, it's just a journal entry. That's why I prefer more putting the audited report out there. Just because things can change so much. And of course, the budget, anytime we have a new budget. But I think that's something that we don't need to jump on, we need to really discuss.
But, I was gonna suggest, and I agree with all of that. Whichever school districts are doing it, maybe we can reach out to them and just say,
I don't know if we really.
if you are keeping up with it, can you do that?
Yeah, but I think we're saying between the two of us and get a little bit more, okay, at least every school district. Neither one of us found.
I checked about 12.
Have the actual financial, okay.
I haven't had monthly finances because they're anonymous.
Idea being, I just wanna cover all bases and make sure we're not gonna step into something, but also the ones that are putting it out there, we can ask them, hey, have you had good reception or have you had something?
That's my problem.
Yeah.
And I found one, but they had not been updated in a year.
Okay.
It was old stuff.
Well,
So it just concerns me why nobody does. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's because of the liability.
I just want us to find whatever means that we can be as transparent and as forthcoming as we possibly can. I mean, I know that there's constraints, but I think it's a discussion that we need to.
I agree.
I think we can find more companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I
If it's an accessibility issue, I think there's solutions out there instead of having it posted. I guess for anybody, I don't know, I just wanna make sure I understand that it's when it's comparative, right? That's the issue is a journal entry here or there, that's kind of the,
Well, it's unaudited. You know what I'm saying? I mean, things have changed. And that's more of my concern, is it being unaudited and we're putting it out there and, you know, the public will, like, get it on, that's what your books say, and that is what they say. But, you know, if I had to go back and make a journal entry, or we had to go back and, you know, move money around for something, then that number may change from month to month. And I update you that sheet, but I just wanna make sure, I mean, personally, then, and for the school district wide, that we don't, I think we need to have to make sure that, because we haven't found it nowhere else, and that's what
if there's any liability issue, I mean, I definitely don't want to put it out there just to get.
the pros and cons to do that, you know. So, and I'm all for it, I mean, I'm open book, of course, I told you that's that. I just, want to make sure that we're doing something that.
We can,
And that's beyond.
we can meet about it and talk about it later then and discuss further. Maybe y'all can find something comparative, or maybe talk to Jim Keith, and then we'll kind of have a report out next month or the 29th, I don't know, whichever one y'all say.
I mean, some just, I mean, I'm thinking, sure, there are other boards that say, hey, we want to be transparent, what can we do to be transparent and fun? I mean, surely we're not going to.
I think what they're actually saying is that we have more, the audit reports, or the budget, or nothing at all. And so I think it's just the two main things that we found on the top of the websites.
Gotcha.
Because they're always legal, because the budget's legal once you guys approve it. Because I actually have to run, but pay the original budget in paper. Yeah.
Right.
So, and it's out of court, so when I say legal, it's.
Legally required, yeah.
We are being transparent through our agendas where we put what we're spending and what the funds and all that, and it's on our website for anyone to see. Each month, and then it stays up there, and you can look back, see what we spent, and what we spend it on.
on approval by them too. You're right. Yeah, I think this is I think this requires another discussion another time or whatever. And, if y'all get some of that information, that'll kind of start us up for some preliminary talks. All right. Does anybody else have any questions about financial statements? If not, do I hear a motion that we approve financial statements for May of 2025? Motion. Have a motion here, second. Motion and second. All in favor, say yes. Yes. Opposed? Thank you.
Okay, number 32 is the approval of the oil and gas mineral lease between our school district and the federal energy. This is several months ago, they came and spoke with you, and then school has been under the lease agreement and had to put word against as she saw appropriate for our district. So you're asking us to approve that so we can get on the list of leased mineral rights.
Gotcha. Does anybody have any more questions about number 32?
So what's the overall agreement here? Somebody got to go over the kind of, this is, what are we agreeing to? I remember.
They're leasing their mineral, they're leasing our mineral rights for, because it's close to the well that they're going to be, drilling on the Skylark, properties. And, so the lease is a one-time, amount of, they'll pay us, I believe that was 2,000. Sure, you remember what that, I don't have a copy of this,
Basically, it's if they produce a certain amount of oil, and we get a certain amount, what was important for us, and I made sure the language was in the voters, we can't come onto our campuses, we can't construct anything on the street, so all we can't interact or interfere with the construction of the students. So there's the payment portion too, but then what they can't do on the weeks, it'll be no actual drilling out of the school.
Is there any stipulation where that property can't be used for other things while they're drilling? Anything language in there that says that if we decided or needed to?
We can't use the property.
Right. And we know it, does that make sense?
No, I was sorry, I didn't.
In other
Because it's a
words,
mineral rights thing, I just wanted to make sure I understood.
in other words, is there any safety issue with them direct drilling from the side that if we decide to build a school structure on?
Like the proximity thing is what you're asking.
Do we know if that's a safe thing to do?
They're not close to our property. We're just in the radius of, where they would draw minerals if they were coming.
Yeah, and they're gonna be directional drilling. They're directional drilling from the site into that area underneath that property. So that would be a concern now, obviously, because it's school property or my property. What if I was to build a structure above that, is there any chance of caving, collapsing? Did we ask any of those questions during that time frame?
We asked about the well and what kind of, if they were fracking. They said no fracking whatsoever. It was gonna be directional, but it was gonna be straight down to the pocket piece of it, right? And then they were gonna, concrete, and they would have a seal, it would be a seal, well, which is the biggest concern in my eyes as far as contamination or something getting down or whatever. They can actually cap it at that point, right, if something were to happen. So that was my main concern. But to hear you say that, I think we just really need to keep that in mind if we ever get any closer, or maybe we can have get something from them study-wise, because they'll do a relief study, and they'll do like a safety study on like if something were to release or whatever. We can probably get that information from us. Probably end up being part of their safety.
How long is the lease?
It's 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, I got it.
So after 5 years, if they don't produce oil and all, it goes away? Is that what?
Yes.
And we did have a very good discussion at the meeting we had in Africola. And some of the questions related to, you know, I don't really know, really. And because my thought process is if you're taking something out, you know. And, there were two or three questions related to that.
The safety aspect of it, yeah.
And, you know, what they assured us that it was, you know, perfectly safe. We had some discussions about the, there was concern about the, any type of, fumes and that type of thing. From what I understand, where they're actually going to be is over closer to, and Ms. Ryder, correct me if I'm wrong, where they're actually going to be is over closer to Arizona Barton Road and that, what's the road, the Churchville and Fire Department. Yeah, it's gonna be over that way, and that, there's a field, a grass field, I think.
That's what the current well that they drilled years ago is sitting there.
I don't know. I don't know if that's what.
Somebody right there about that.
It was that, yes.
I thought that the original drill was closer to the school.
But am I correct?
You're right, there it is, yes.
I don't know, I didn't hear that.
It's gonna be where the old well they did back in the eighties. Right there. Not that area, yeah.
And we did ask about the trucks coming in and out, you know, concern about, it interfering with school traffic. And so we were told that they would use that, and they would come in on the other side.
Okay. Well, that's good, that's good.
The part I never did get comfortable with, and this way maybe you can shed some light on this, is they kept saying if we didn't do now, then we lost. What does that mean? If you own mineral rights, how do you lose that if you don't get on board now? What does that mean?
Look, they came to talk to our family because we live in the next area there. And so what he was explaining was if you don't get on board with it and sign the lease, then the governing body will require them to still pay the royalties, and it's after they get 3 times their investment in it.
And this is a state, federal law that says this? Crazy. Straight up crazy.
They're gonna make it easier for them to drill in 3 to 2 years, right?
I think it's the wrong way for someone to get in years of the petroleum industry and get that.
Well, like I said, what we signed is real, now this is already a done deal, they don't do it anyway. Don't supervise it already. Really what's going to take place.
We have a lot of questions about like the safety of water and that kind of thing. And, you know, if we're going on what they say, so, you know, they were talking about the environmental
They should have studies.
So like,
Public, that's stuff.
up in Wayne County, there's 200 acres of land, you know, they beef up the road, get, they don't want to mill right, but all the equipment, and all that stuff, but that's been for 30 years, they haven't had accident.
Yeah.
And fuels wise, they burn, when you go through Wayne County, you'll see that a flame burning in there. Well, you get this stuff off.
And this will mostly not be natural gas, right? This is mostly gonna be actual just sweet oil, sweet crude. So that's a concern too, is just good for natural gas and fresh up. From what I understood, especially about the water issue, because they're not fracking and because it's a sealed well, that kind of takes a lot of the water concern off. Fencing, I guess you should check up on and make sure that they are like perimeter fencing once they get some of their parts. They should have it in place, right? Yeah. It'll just be some homework on our side, just to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do on that side. And then we can find out for these study wise. Should be able to find out.
Well, they say they gonna have to meet EPA standards, they got to, they won't do nothing. It's gonna have to be safe, before they even do it, and for the erosion, for the traffic, all of that, they'll have to.
You know, without being frank, I don't think you're worried too much about erosion wise. You're not really displacing, right? But there might still be concern, just 7,000.
Is there any reason that we would need to, for the Agricola School, for the state, for the, emergency plan? Is there anything that you think that we would need to add to that? I did not realize
I'm
that.
gonna meet with them, I'm gonna try to get in touch with them to talk to them about that, that's something I thought about a while ago. So the next meeting, I'll let you know something on that. Evacuation process and things of that nature, there was an emergency.
Well, I know somebody, I was talking to somebody that told me, you got your, you would have, in case of a train derailment, you've got that, and so I'm assuming it would be something similar to that.
That's good discussion. Do you have any more questions, or do we want to put some action points on this to say we need to?
We can have them come back and talk to y'all if they like.
Do we have a deadline that they set on us on that? I would love to hear some more about that. Yeah, unless there's a deadline, you know.
There's not a concrete deadline at this time. We're still getting surrounding landowners, signed up to their leases also.
If you look at this holistically, you go to their site, this goes all the way into Strong County, Wiggins, Mississippi, it's a large, massive area, but.
That's popping down well.
Well, that's the part that I hadn't got comfortable with, is you got this one well, but they haven't said anything to anybody to the west, and all that I'm aware of, because I'll ask questions to landowners, that I know in those pockets. So it's just weird to me that there's an urgency here and there's not an urgency other places.
Well, from what I understood, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Leonard, he said that they were starting here, and if this goes, I think that it's still, and then it's going to start pushing west.
Okay, then that may be.
That's what they said.
They have already visited certain places where they know wasn't there, but they've done their homework. For years, knowing exactly where they're going through.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is what they're going to do.
When you look at the site and on their website, and look at the mountains, you can see it to the land. Oh, you can look at it. So, y'all may not have any concerns, but I do have some reservations on, this expediency of this, is where I guess.
Most of my concern comes from when they actually start doing the work and they actually are producing, what's gonna look like if something lets loose and released, that'll be part of the releasing part of it. So, as far as them going in there and digging, I mean, there's no, it would just be like anybody else digging on their own land or whatever. But as far as the actual mineral rights and bringing it through, that's what I just want to make sure that, radius wise, we're at a hot zone there. So,
And like I said, keep in mind,
and this isn't gonna slow it down.
no, keep
Yeah,
in mind, they gonna do it anyway.
yeah,
Where we have concerns, if not, it's still gonna be done. Because
That's true.
supervisors done already approved what they get ready to do. But they give us the opportunity to receive some royalties off of what they do. It's already, whether we vote yes or no, it's still gonna take us.
So, you mentioned the expediency. The papers came to us in April, and so we did some homework, and then we talked about it briefly, and we had them come in to talk with them, so it's not like they just came to us and we're 100% signed this, somewhere there has been some process and conversations, and I just wanted to address that.
We did have about 60 people come to the community meeting and had to talk about ask lots of good questions. They had lots of maps and they were doing their answering questions.
I appreciate y'all for putting that on and letting the community get involved in that. That's good stuff. And hopefully that'll alleviate a lot of community concerns as well. But what you want to do? You want to look at this more? As far as I'm concerned, the relief study is the next thing that I want to see.
When you say release study, we're fixing to approve this, basically sign, they did their study and all, what does that mean?
Well, if we didn't do anything, right, I'm sorry, I'm just saying, even if we don't do anything, they're going to continue to drill anyways, right?
I was going to say, kind of pointless was what you're saying, the study and all, they're already approved to move forward with this unless the NDEQ or DEQ says, or EPA says, no, you're not going to do it. I would have guessed they've already moved through some of those rounds to already get some sort of approval.
The biggest concern is just like radius wise, depending on what's down there and pressure wise, and when they start to pull it up, is there a splash zone for maybe not the right turn there, but if it's this much radius, where do we land? Where's our line land? Where's the school land? And
That kind of blast on, but it's
yes,
splash zone.
yes. That's the next concern. As far as the lease goes, I don't personally have a concern about signing the lease because it's going to happen anyways.
This is not gonna deter or cause any issue with conflicts with the splash zone. I mean, because
No.
this is just about the rules. So.
No, I'm just saying that I'm good to go ahead. The next thing I want us to do as far as homework classes, we just need to make sure that when that information is like, hey, if worst case scenario happens, it's going to be 200 yards away from the school, and that's deemed acceptable. Those calls will happen after that. At this point, we're really just saying, hey, do we want a better payout if they hit full, or do we want to wait for royalties through state channels, basically? Am I getting that correct? Is that kind of my understanding, and I'm correct? Okay. But I do have concerns. I just want to make sure that we do have kind of a plan forward to make sure we're not going to do anything to put the kids at risk. And that's the biggest thing. I understand the concern wholeheartedly, whatever we can do to make sure that happens.
And I don't think by signing the lease, that's not saying we're all going to put kids at risk and
No.
let's go forward. I think it's, this is the way to benefit. Something's already going to take place.
No, we're just having a discussion, just making sure we're all on the same page, and then kind of what we're expecting after tonight. Does anybody have any more concerns, or do we feel like everything's kind of?
Can I say, just inject something I listened to them when I was down at Agricola talking?
Yes, sir.
The hole that they've already drilled, they pretty well know what's there. They're not gonna get into a blowout situation because of what's in the ground. They've done the research too. And that's the reason they even go drill for them, because they found some stuff when they were drilling for natural gas. So I understand by that hole being drilled, they're more comfortable that if a problem,
Because it's not natural gas or natural gas rich.
because there won't be pockets there to hit.
And that's what I kind of figured. I assumed from it. That is good. That's good information. If they kind of already put that out there, that they were.
They mentioned that down there to some things they found in that previous hole, give them an idea, it wouldn't be a blowout or a problem.
Yeah, like. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you said that, because that was kind of the next thing to make sure that we're in, just make sure we're aware. I mean, that's really what it is, just make sure we're operating with as much guides on it as much as possible, right?
Okay, will you, just kind of get back to us with whatever you find out?
Absolutely.
If anybody has any more questions, put 32 forward and say, do we hear a motion, we approve number 32?
I'll motion.
Have a motion, do we hear a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say yes. Yes, any opposed? All right, 32 is approved. All right. Number 33, review board member 24-25 school visitation.
I just have to notate in the minutes that all five of y'all did your 7 hours of school visitation for 2024.
All right, duly noted. We don't have to approve anything, just
No.
noted. All right, next is, consideration of executive session. We've got, 2 items that we need to look at, non-motion to go into closed session to determine if items for consideration are executive session issues. Do I hear a motion that we go into a closed session based on the 2 items, listed in the charter? All right, have a motion. There's no second needed. All in favor, say yes. Yes. All right, we're now in closed session. Do I hear a motion that we move to enter executive session to hear the 2 applications for readmission for expulsion? Here, have a motion, here a second?
Second.
Have a second, all in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes, any opposed? All right, we are in executive session. We,
Motion.
all right, second, all right, we're out of executive session. Does everybody say yes?
Yes.
All right, we did take action during, executive session, and, people with questions, we notified. Do I hear motion for adjournment? All the way back. There you go. Here's second. Motion and second, all in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes, any opposed? All right, thank y'all very much.
You know,